Cradle, The Rise of the Chosen, Chapter 28, Part 1. They were back in the loft. Takuma and Gianoa were upstairs in the bedroom, and Josh was downstairs in the kitchen cooking what seemed to be an orange and soy sauce flavored tofu. He said earlier that conjuring it up would never be as good as cooking it himself, but they were both pretty close, he finally admitted. Takuma was lying on the bed on his back while Gianoa was next to him on her stomach reading a small magazine. Takuma was presently trying to see into the future, particularly tomorrow on their mission. He could see quick glimpses of ordinary things like a cloud in the sky or green leaves on a tree, but nothing that was telling, or at least what he wanted it to tell. Ni jahan bien o itriyama. Your eyes keep flashing, Gianoa informed, not looking up from her magazine. Pluj ion niet. I can see that, he said almost absently. Gianoa sighed and threw her magazine to the corner of the bed. Bien jun ta'ala Let's take a break, she suggested. Takuma closed his eyes and opened them again to get back to the present, and then rolled over onto his stomach. Hati mulunia. Or, what do you have in mind, he asked. Minjul ta'ani hat mil kolna. Why don't we just talk, she said. Ba'at ul na tik juhantel. Seems like city life suits you, he said. Ma'ani tij siit palumur. It doesn't feel too different from palace life, she stated. Aid, I see, he said. Miyana ioli kalamu. I kind of wish we were home. Gago naki io jum yumi ioa. I love making out with you while the patio's open, she said and pecked her husband on the cheek. Tahali hal io. Give me a break, he said and kissed her on the lips. She put her face directly in front of his and stared into his eyes, and he held their gaze. Sahadi, I love you, she said and kissed him again. Ja'abi, not Josh. Honey, Josh is down there, Takuma warned. Koji, I know, still, she said. They smiled at each other for a moment. Takuma looked down at the comforter and its pale red and beige and then back into his lover's eyes. Jit anul kal haj tama ki. What do you think is going to happen with all this, he asked. Da'al kan jit na'amu ul ta'ami. Where's your faith, honey, she asked. Ja'ani ka io pliti. I know, just starting to get stressed. And one of the sweetest things that ever happened in Takuma's short life was then when his wife got off the bed and cut the lights in the bedroom, pulled him into her arms, and pulled the comforter over both of them and whispered in his ear, Gienti, hola, tien. Let's get some sleep. The next day, they all found themselves in the bustling area of the congressional corridor. There were pools with fountains in many places, shaped shrubbery, and white buildings with security detail visibly present. Kiet niet pien jali hab. This nut looks harder than it is to crack, Josh remarked and smiled at the couple. John dienul kaal hama tinjiet io ta'al. Yeah, save the hardest mission for me, Takuma remarked and laughed. Min jahan dun ur. You getting scared? Josh asked and laughed. Kaan al ja'al na'at. You two cut it out, Gianoa stated. Ba'al pa'aj ta'anio. This has to go perfectly.